Disc.
Yep. Okay. Hi, everybody. Star Trek. Docent
What's up?
Anthony G.
So pumped about this. You ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, click. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap. Welcome everybody to the bonus disc.
What up?
Star Trek: The Next Generation, dude.
Steven's tour through Star Trek: The Next Generation, led by unpaid docent Tony G.
Dude, I should get paid because I watched so much Star Trek. Just kidding.
You'll believe how much work I've done.
I have been researching this episode since September 28th, 1987.
Okay, you knew you were gonna someday be a tour guide
Yep.
for somebody who sort of knew a little bit about this but has not gotten into it.
Right. Okay, so I heard somebody say this.
Mm-hmm.
So this show, Star Trek: The
Mm-hmm.
Next Generation, had 3 problems from the get-go
Okay.
that were going to make it unsuccessful immediately.
Tell me them. Okay.
Other than the fact that the main star, Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, didn't even, like, he flew to Hollywood to be in this show. Apparently he didn't even unpack his bags.
Wow.
Like, just
because he didn't think it was going to work.
That's what somebody said. Like who knows about this thing, you know? So
Right. Yep.
He came, he recorded, didn't unpack his bags. Here were the 3. It was syndicated, it was sci-fi,
right,
and it was a sequel.
Okay. I would add it's Star Trek.
And it's Star Trek, which is a deep, it's we talked about this on the
Rathacon result show.
Rathacon was like, Star Wars has just gotten, it was sort of nerdy and it's just so mainstream, it's ridiculous. But Star Trek never made it past the point of never got to the point of mass appeal. Even, I would say, even with J.J. Abrams at the helm.
And even with the efforts that Paramount Plus is making right now to become the the Star Wars of Paramount. And so there's shows, there's kid shows. I just watched the intro to the newest show, Strange New Worlds. Actually, I watched the pilot a couple months ago. It's awesome. It's Pike. It's a prequel to it's a direct prequel. So actually there's Pike, there's Kirk's dad, there's Spock in it, and Kirk is going to come in the second season, I hear. Wow. And it is really good.
Awesome. Can't wait.
But they so what they're trying to do now is like make it like you care about this. But then they've got the same problem as Star Wars does at this one, which is oversaturation, right? It's just too much. And I still don't think it has the cultural I don't know what to say. Like it doesn't have the trust with the culture to do that.
Right. Yep. Here, I'm gonna.
And so I wonder if that was happening too with Next Generation.
Yeah, I'm gonna crack a liqueur. Hey, how's it going? I need something to wet my whistle while I talk about Star Trek.
Want to guess what I'm drinking?
Earl Grey tea.
Tea Earl Grey hot.
Tea Earl Grey hot. Look at my coffee mug here.
Sweet.
Now that doesn't make sense because this isn't Next Generation, but I don't have a Next Generation mug, and it's empty because I finished my coffee.
When I'm purposefully drinking Jean-Luc Picard's favorite drink, an example of the fact that I know things about this show.
Yeah.
I know Tea Earl Grey hot. I know, maybe that's all I know. I know, like, when I see things, I think, as you're leading me on this tour, I'm going to recognize things. I've never connected with it. So this is the second time we've done something like this. The first one was Marvel Universe. I was your docent.
Yep.
I re-listened to those episodes. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It was
What?
rough.
Oh no.
It's hard. It's hard to convince somebody to like something that you like.
Mm.
It's really hard.
You know, and okay, so I listened to I can't remember who, if I think it was C.S. Lewis or something like that, was
Okay.
like an experience of something is one thing, but
Mm-hmm.
experiencing it with somebody you love
Yep.
brings that experience to completion,
Yep.
or at least elevates the experience to a way higher level. So like in his context, what he was talking about is this is why you can't be a Christian and just go it alone.
Right.
Like you have to gather with other people and
Yep.
celebrate together. That's what he was talking about. So like
Yes.
you can do study and you can do silence and
Mm-hmm.
solitude and all this stuff, but really that's part of the one of the practices is like you got to get together once a week, even if you don't like the people, even if you don't like the place. But you
Uh-huh.
got to gather together with other people and worship. And so that was where that kernel came from. But when Tim Keller was quoting C.S. Lewis talking about this, he was like, when you listen to a great piece of music or see a
Uh-huh.
play or read a book, it becomes another level when you share it and experience it with somebody else.
And so as you're saying that, I'm thinking about two things.
Hmm.
One is that this is going to be a lot more fun for
Hmm.
me than if I was going to try to do this by myself.
Yeah.
You being in partnership with me in this, I'm going to try. I cannot guarantee to get
Yep.
Jessica to watch these episodes with me because you've come with essential episodes for me to watch.
Yep.
Um, to get, and I want to actually tell you about my goal, my end goal of
Mm.
this eventually,
Okay.
because um, there was that also when we did the Marvel Universe stuff, that helped. Also, the other thing that I'm thinking about as you're saying that is that Marvel for me and Star Trek for you has had communal experiences attached to both of those things. And
Mm.
your family of origin that you were talking
Hmm.
about and have been talking about being a
Yep.
part of your love for Star Trek is huge.
Yeah.
And my entry into the Marvel universe with the kids at exactly the right age
Yep.
was something that I was trying to convince you was good.
Yeah.
And it and I'm just am not sure still if it connected. It also took a year.
Dang.
So
Wow.
I gave you 10 movies and it took a year.
Well, okay, okay, okay. There's a really big difference between you and me. There's a ton.
Okay.
Okay. Just in the 5K episode that we just recorded and now,
Yeah,
I think I don't understand. You have a different capacity for content than I do.
sure.
Like, I have read 3 books in full this year.
Hmm.
Like I was like, I'm still reading Dead Zone. I'm still reading my second Blake Crouch.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how you've read so many books. I don't know how you've watched so many shows. I don't know how you've watched so many movies. It took me a year to watch the Marvel, like, and this is, dude. Okay, I'm not saying you like are just lazy or that's not what I'm saying. I don't
Right.
know how you do it, bro.
Yeah.
I don't
Um
know how you do it,
the reading is 30 minutes a day.
and you must read 30 times as fast as me.
It could be a speed thing. Oh, there's also kind of like maybe what you're asking also is like retention.
Total retention. I know I bonus is I don't know how you retain so much information. I don't
Yeah.
have that kind of memory. You're really blessed with that, bro.
Well, so I think it was because this is just when people ask me about this, this is a theory I have is that I was a voracious and avid reader when I was a kid.
Mm.
And so I trained my brain early to retain information.
Yeah.
We're different because you were a voracious consumer of music, classical in
Mhm. Mhm.
particular, when you were young.
Mhm.
And so you have incredible retention for leitmotifs,
Right.
for um you could you have we just have different retention levels, and I think it actually is pretty link to childhood.
Yep. And that
Um,
would bring us all the way back to Star Trek The Next Generation,
mm-hmm.
which is like on Inside Out an absolute core memory
Yeah.
for me and family. Like
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was Saturday nights or Sunday nights, and it was syndicated. It was on CBS,
Mm-hmm.
um, Paramount, right? Still now,
Yep. Yeah.
and it would be like, or no, I think it was Saturday nights they played last week's episode, and then Sunday nights they played this week's episode. I think
Okay.
that's what it was,
Gotcha.
or maybe it was Friday, Saturday, because I don't
So
know
you
how I
could
stayed up
watch the
Sunday night.
rerun of last week every week.
Yes. And
Okay, that's
again,
cool.
remember people, this was the best hope you had was you had a VCR and could record it and then re-watch that,
Yeah.
you know?
I like this idea though of replaying last week's episode because that seems like the next best thing after having
Mhm.
recorded it is oh, if I miss this week, I can see it again next week. I didn't know that about TNG. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it was Friday, Saturday or Saturday, Sunday,
Okay.
and this was me and my mom and my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it was like our gathering around the table for a meal
Right.
was this.
Yep.
And we talked about it and we thought about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so you're also kind of answering my question about like how I can and not maybe not how but why I keep up pretty well with new movies. TV, not really.
Yeah. No,
Like,
but you do but the thing is you do such a great job of like like scheduling out things that are going to come out,
yeah,
and you go to buy tickets and you be sure to see the new movie within a week of it coming out because there's going to be podcasts to listen to, and there's going to
that's
be
true.
right like I
Right.
don't want to like I mean like right now
Yeah.
I Super Mario Brothers is like one of the newest movies,
Yeah.
and I've got a few episodes of some various podcasts
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to listen to, but I can't until we go to see that.
Yeah. That's
You know,
definitely a part of my life, dude. I listen to
right.
two movie podcasts where I'm like, I like to watch the movie before they talk about it. You're right though. I mean, we'll timestamp this episode. We're recording it on May 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out
Mm-hmm.
this weekend. I had our tickets bought 2 weeks ago for tomorrow night.
Crazy.
Um,
I mean,
there
awesome. Not
I
crazy.
I
That's
have
awesome.
10 I have a list of 10 can't miss in the theater movies this summer.
Yep.
I have them in a note. Let me look at the note. I'm just going to list them. Fast X, that's the 10th Fast and
Oh
Furious
yeah.
movie. Half of these you don't give a rip about. This is the other thing. Like, who gives a rip? The new Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie. This summer's going to be insane.
This is good stuff.
New Wes Anderson movie,
Okay,
Asteroid
okay,
City, with Tom Hanks in it.
okay. I didn't know there's a new Spider-Man coming out, and I've never heard of this Wes Anderson movie.
Okay.
I'm a moron. I'm sorry.
Dial of Destiny. You know that one's coming out.
What's
Indiana
that?
Jones. Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah,
Dial of
yeah, yeah.
Destiny.
Okay, super pumped.
Here's some other ones that you will know about. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Okay,
I
really excited.
am crawling out of my skin. I cannot wait to see Tom Hanks drive a friggin' motorcycle off a cliff, jump off the motorcycle, and land on a plane somehow.
I know Tom Cruise, not Tom Hanks, but yeah.
I often make that mistake, but what if?
I know they do a Mission Impossible and a You've Got Mail, except it's Tom Hanks in Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise.
Right, that would be pretty good. I cannot wait for the Barbie movie. I'm so excited about it. Greta Gerwig, I can't wait. A new Christopher Nolan this summer. Oppenheimer.
Oh, hello.
Uh, wow. And
Okay,
then there's
Flash.
the new Flash.
Yes, I'm really
I'm
looking forward to
actually
that.
excited about it.
Michael Keaton.
So
Oh,
I know when these movies are coming out. I have tickets bought for several of them. So you're right. It's part
incredible.
of my neuroses.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mean lazy. Of
No, I
course.
know that's not what you mean, but
There,
I do get the question a lot.
there's a neuroses. That's what it is. Like, and I, again, this is family of origin for me at least. I don't know
Hmm.
where did that neuroses come for you?
I don't. I just think it's a personality trait.
Okay.
It's neuroses is probably too negative.
No,
I just like to know what's coming up. That
it's a high
excites me.
it's a high J thing. It's a seven
Yes,
thing.
definitely.
Um, for me, family of origin is like my dad's like, there's a movie coming out,
Hmm.
you know,
Sure.
and my parents didn't know about that kind of stuff.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's not
So
that they
it
don't
is
like
kind of a
stuff.
nature. It's both a nature versus it's a nature and nurture thing that's going
Yep.
on in
Yep.
both of us around this.
Yeah.
Um, I think we probably will even notice that about how we docent. Right? I
Oh,
came into that Marvel thing with 10 movies. If you remember this, I had drawn a little icon next to each one.
I know I loved it.
And so, and I mean, a little behind the scenes, right before this app, I'm sitting here for 12, 15 minutes quietly while you finish up your notes.
Look at this. I wrote the notes out almost as cool as you did.
Ooh, that looks great, dude. Whoa.
I know. I put a lot of work into this. Then I was
I know
looking
you
at it
did.
and
That's not what
and
I
then I
didn't mean
was
that you didn't
like,
put a lot of work into it. I just
oh, no, no,
wonder
no, I know.
the
Okay.
differences.
Have we talked about deadlines yet? Did we have
It,
this conversation about
it's so
deadlines?
interesting. You mentioned it briefly on the upcoming 5K audio guide. You asked me a question about if I had a deadline for something, and
For
I answered no, and that's why I'm not done with it.
okay, your novel.
My novel.
Okay, do you know this is on the bonus disc suite, so it's behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Cody Fry?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. So I have a friend that is really good friends with him. Not
Cool.
to name drop.
It is cool though. I like Cody Fry.
Okay.
Actually,
He's real.
he just wrote the new Epcot fireworks song. Did you know
Oh,
that?
really?
For the new Epcot show, Cody Fry wrote the song for it.
Cool.
Isn't that awesome?
That's a
So
really
now he
cool.
must have like, I wonder if he has like lifetime Disney park access. I wouldn't be
It's
surprised.
it's like that song. I did that
Yeah, that would be rad. Okay, yeah. So you have a friend who knows Cody Fry.
for a long time.
Okay.
So and I was talking to him, and he was saying that his agent booked the London Symphony or Philharmonia or something like that
Mm-hmm.
at Abbey Road
Okay.
to record his next album.
Okay.
And he was like, "How many songs did you have recorded, or did you have like in the docket
Yeah.
before he booked the London Symphony or whichever
Uh-huh.
orchestra it was?" And he said, "None."
What?
And he was like, "When I was younger,
Uh-huh.
inspiration drove me.
Uh-huh.
Now, deadlines drive me."
Okay.
And that like really, first of all, blew my mind. Second of all, totally showed me um exactly how I function,
Hmm.
which is like I it's exactly the same thing. Like I need a deadline.
Okay.
It used to be like I was obsessed. I made my reads, I practiced. It was just
Yeah.
driven by like inspiration.
Yep.
Now it's like I got some I have a weekly deadlines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now you
for
know what I mean?
sure.
Like I got to have this piece ready, I got to have these reads ready, et cetera, et
Yep.
cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I think that's even a middle age thing.
Yep.
Is like so, which is why I asked you about deadlines.
Right. Okay. Well, I've got news for you. This has given me a lot of insight about why also it took a year with the Marvel thing, because I purposefully did not give you a deadline because I didn't want to annoy you. I was like, I'm not at one point in the episodes, I'm like, I'm not your teacher, I'm not your dad. And so you do this on your schedule.
Yeah.
And my suspicion the whole time, and it's not hard to read between the lines when you listen back, is you didn't really like it.
But you know what? Okay, it took a while for the I did not listen back to those before this.
Okay.
Again, I don't know how you do that.
I was doing the dishes.
You're, I know.
You know what I mean? Or I was running.
I know.
I
That's
listen to a
awesome.
lot of podcasts when I run.
Yep. Man, this sounds like I'm being critical. It's not. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't
I
mean to
am
be
like,
defensive either. I've it's just triggering something in me where most people ask me this stuff are like, "What do you do all day?" It's also a nature of
I
my job
0%
where
mean it
people
like
where
that.
people are
Yeah.
constantly asking me like, "That's your job?"
Oh man.
Do you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm trying to justify bad behavior, which I don't think it is. I just like what
Nope.
I
Dude.
like. I don't know. I just like what I like. And as a 7, if I don't, this is it.
Okay.
All right, nation, if you're wondering, this is it. As a
Okay.
7, if I didn't insert things that I love to do, like watch
Yep.
movies and read books,
Yep.
I wouldn't be of use to anyone.
Hmm.
Work hard, play hard, baby. I
Work
work
hard, play hard.
friggin' hard and I play
Yep.
friggin' hard.
Yep. Okay. You're 100% right. I have uh more of a like it needs to be a special occasion for me to finally listen to that podcast
I
or
cannot tell
like
you how often we talked about this on the Marvel one. It's like your
really?
Halloween candy thing, which
Yeah,
is
okay.
at one point you're like, I don't think I'm ever going to watch Endgame. And I was
I
like, if you don't watch Endgame, dude, I'm going to be so sad. But you were like, no, it's one of those things. Like, I can't bring myself to watch Stranger Things or Picard or like,
still haven't.
you need a deadline.
Yeah, so I need a deadline. Okay, so I'm sorry for triggering you.
No, it's
My
not. It's not your fault.
mine my thing is more A, an inspiration, and
Okay.
B, like I'm inspired by that and jealous of it. Like I wish I could consume more content. It's like maybe it's like I don't know what it is that it's hard for me. Um but it's most certainly inspiration,
Okay.
not like
And
judgment.
I know that about you, Anthony. I don't want you to think that I actually thought for 1 second you were like calling me out on it.
Oh right. Well, and the other thing you put it perfectly. Work hard, play hard. You're
Mm-hmm.
one of the hardest workers I know.
Sure.
And maybe I do a lot of like staring at walls. Like
That one post-it note you put up
wait,
on the
what?
wall
I think
where,
like
where there's a hole in the wall. I'll just put a post-it note up on it instead and stare at it.
but I think like okay, I think maybe that's a little bit of the crux, dude, is like my like go-to with kind of like depression.
Uh-huh.
My like because we both
Mm,
deal with this, right?
yeah.
Is to like just like stare at a wall or like sort of be
Mm-hmm.
depressed or something. And I
And
think you
yep,
go
you're right.
to content or you go to entertainment, titillation,
Titillate me. The
manipulate me.
the sin behind that,
Yeah.
who knew we were going to freaking talk about this, is escape.
Ah,
Is I
yep.
will escape into these things. Now, I've done a lot of work hard, play hard on
Yep.
trying to every day actually in my clear habit journal where I want to live again, right? The live again part, what would I do
Yep.
differently? Almost
Right.
every day I write don't escape.
Wow.
And so I'm
Wow.
mindful about that, but I'm not perfect about it. And so actually the past decade, 15 years has been trying to find that balance. And so I don't escape as much, but I think if you're confessing that you stare at the wall because of your depression and anxiety, I can go ahead and um, confess that I probably should run more often without listening to a podcast because I actually
Mm,
need to do some internal work. It's just I'm
hmm
exhausted and I don't want to do it.
hmm Yep.
Um,
And so you go to escape.
I go to escape, and a lot of
Yep.
times that has been certainly media consumption. Escape into different worlds where I don't have any problems there.
Yep. Totally get that.
And Jessica and I have a lot of conversations about this. Sometimes that is really helpful for me to get a break
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from that. And so lots of the what's given me life, I think, coming up is going to be like, this is a show that I found that is healthy for me to watch.
Yeah.
Um, if I've got 17 hours of work that day, I will
Yep.
schedule in an episode of This Old House
Yep.
because I need it to survive. And that's not
Oh yeah.
escape. That's like um my seven, the way I'm built, I'm going to function a lot better if I have some pleasure that day. That's good, clean
Yep.
fun.
You're injecting fun in the middle of a stressful, hard day, and that
Right.
helps you get there. I think for me, like I I have a hard time being present
Mm-hmm.
for that escape.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, my problems are still going to be there after the escape. So I'm like, why bother?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, all my problems are still going to be.
Well, I mean, and Jessica's asked me this question. How can you, with everything that's going on, how can you even engage in this movie? And I'm like, I don't know. I just can.
That's amazing. Like, dude, there was when we went to Dan in real life, this is just a visceral memory for me,
Uh-huh.
was when I first started my like major anxiety battle.
Yeah.
I had to leave the movie because I was so anxious.
I never knew that.
Um, like
Wow.
I was like, maybe we can escape and go to a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with the movie at all. That is
So
not
how
an
about this
anxiety.
movie about a
It's
depressed widower?
I know it's like I like it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And actually, amazingly,
Love it.
it's not triggering for me.
Okay,
Which
interesting.
thank you Jesus that
Mm-hmm.
movie. I mean, but like I just remember that as a visceral moment of like Aaron, we have to leave. I
Oh
have to
wow.
leave this movie because I can't even be present.
Yeah,
Um, it was just a hard day. And thank you Jesus, even now that I'm able to, that's not triggering for me to talk about. So maybe we'll actually be able to get to an anxiety series on the
maybe
podcast without me like
someday.
falling apart.
Can I just tell you, I'm really looking forward to watching Star Trek The Next Generation this summer.
Okay.
Not for escape, but for fun. Like,
Yes.
I need a fun summer. That is why I write these lists of movies and books
Yeah.
that I want to. Be, May 5th, when the Marvel movie comes out, Guardians of the Galaxy is always the start of my kind of shift in thinking about summer. So I'm so happy we're doing this. I want you to
Love it.
know I've set a deadline for myself. I put in the calendar
Wow.
that we're doing the end of this at the end of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got the summer to do this. I have figured out when I'm going to do it.
Yep.
I've got a lot of flight time, plane time
Oh, cool.
in the air that I'm going to be watching Star Trek The Next Generation. And I have a goal. Do you want to hear my goal?
Yeah.
I want to be able to watch Generations
Mm.
and feel the thrill
Mm.
of seeing Jean-Luc Picard on the big screen in a different way that I felt it when we saw it in high school, which was I was like,
Okay.
uh,
Uh, that guy's cool, I guess.
yeah, I like him. T-Earl Grey
Shakespearean
hot.
actor.
Isn't he the T-Earl Grey hot guy? Um, and then I want to be able to watch Picard.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so that right there. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a couple things.
Yeah.
That right there is a huge carrot for me.
Okay.
I've been Picard. Like my sister got mad at me in
Right.
a loving
Sure.
way, but she was
No, but
pretty mad.
we have people in our lives that are like, you haven't watched that yet.
Right. Well,
Sorry,
she didn't
Mia,
say
if you're
it.
listening, but
Yeah,
I'm not
she's
saying
not
that's how she
listening.
said it to you, but like,
Right.
yeah, people mad at you for not watching certain things.
Like, but it was almost like that's dumb. Like
And she probably
how?
felt that because, like, isn't this your thing?
Yeah, like how? And
Right.
for me, go back. It's Halloween candy. I
Yep.
can't eat it. Too excited
Mm-hmm.
about it. I have bags of Cadbury mini eggs from like 3 years ago that I'm still saving. Like, because it's my
What?
favorite candy.
Okay. What am I getting myself into with this docent listener? What a weird guy. He's got Cadbury eggs. He's hoarding them.
Like the ones from years ago.
Yep.
And there's huge bags at Publix now, but I can't eat the old one.
Nope, sorry. I haven't eaten those old ones yet. So that's my goal is I really want to be able to I have wanted to for some reason really wanted to watch Picard, but I haven't felt equipped to do so.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my goal is to
Okay.
watch Picard with you.
Hello.
I want to watch Picard with you. I've been waiting for to eat those Cadbury mini eggs. I want to watch Picard, and it's gonna be with you after having gone through this tour.
Okay.
I'm like, I mean, dude, I've never seen so much. You're right. I've never seen so much Star Trek in the media since this Picard thing. Wesley Crusher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No,
what's
I
his
can't
name?
think of
I
his
can't remember his name.
name. This is a
Something.
horrible way to start this.
Oh, that's fine. I know who you're talking
Uh,
about.
Remember they hated him on Big Bang Theory,
Yeah, he was on Big Bang Theory. He actually he's the audiobook reader for Ready Player One. I don't
and
remember his
Andy
name.
Weir, The Martian,
Is he? Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. There we go.
Had to get triggered for memory.
Yep.
Um, like he's got a behind the scenes show. Like they
Yeah, I mean
rebuilt the
there are
bridge.
animated
Like,
shows, there are prequels, there are sequels, all happening at once right now. The one I am interested in, besides Strange New Worlds, which I just started and really dug, is
mhm.
Picard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so like the cast of TNG is all on it this season, and there have
Yep.
been so many videos, and I haven't watched any of them. I like especially this last couple weeks researching for this and
Yeah,
trying to
I
put
bet it was
together
hard
a
to avoid.
tour for you. Like my
Yeah.
algorithm is like, you need to be watching Picard, you idiot. Like even the algorithm thinks I'm a moron.
If even the algorithm is mad at you, you need to do something about it.
AI is mad at me.
So we were talking about you giving me 10 essential episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Right before we started recording, you said, I don't know if we can do I don't know if we can do this. I have 25. Have you been able to narrow them down to 10? And it's okay if it's a no. I just need to know that, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a way to do that, but
Okay.
I think first of all, dude, I'm honored that you're picking my favorite show of all. This and Seinfeld are my two favorite shows of my entire life.
Yeah,
So I'm
and Seinfeld is something I've watched through. I'm certain I've seen every episode of Seinfeld. I don't This is something you have retention of that I don't. And True Gomer Confession, half of the time that you quoted on the podcast, I'm like, yup, I remember, and I don't.
yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
Seinfeld I have a connection to. Star Trek The Next Generation, I think I've probably seen 2 episodes of it.
Okay. Do you know which ones?
There was one about, I think, time travel or some sort of time loop was involved.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I remember really liking it. And then I tried to watch the pilot in 08, 2008 on my sabbatical.
Okay.
And uh, I will tell you, it was pretty confusing to me and I didn't understand what was going on.
Okay.
I was like, when are
Got
we
it.
going to go to space? There was a lot of like planet stuff.
I know. Okay. So do we want to start? Do we want to start there? Can we start here? Do you want to start with the first episode?
Yeah. So maybe I was also wondering if there's anything important kind of context wise you think I should know before I
Mm-hmm.
start. Because I think one of the reasons maybe that I didn't connect with the pilot, which is called what?
Encounter at Farpoint.
Right. Um, was I was expecting it to be like the Star Trek movies that I love, Wrath of Khan and its
Mm-hmm.
ilk,
Yep.
but newer.
Right.
And I felt like, oh, this doesn't look as good. It's kind of weird. I'm not following the plot.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go into something that I'm connecting more. I didn't have very much context. I was like, wait a minute, when is this supposed to take place? Those kinds of things.
Yep.
And so I'm
Okay.
wondering if there's a thing or two you can tell me to help me enter in to this new thing that I sort of know about and don't really. But the main thing I know about it is that you love it,
Yep.
which is great.
And you've seen the movies.
I've seen the movies, but they've never connected with me.
Right. Okay, let's so the the first episode I had you watching,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I don't know where else to start than the pilot.
Okay. I
Be,
understand that for sure.
my fear with it is it's pretty boring.
But I think that if I have a deadline and a list,
Uh-huh.
honestly, Tone, I was like, where are the Borg? Like,
Okay.
I think the Borg are cool, but
Well, I
I'm
have
not getting any
I,
Borg. And I had nobody to tell me that doesn't come until season 8 or whenever it comes. I don't know when it
yeah.
comes.
Well, I have kind of like 3 acts. So we've got
Ooh, I love it.
kind of like the show as a
Mm-hmm.
whole.
Okay.
Then we're going to get into 1 or 2 episodes. They go like kind of character based.
Okay.
So like just like Lost,
Mm-hmm.
there's like Picard is the star of this episode. Riker
Okay.
is the star of this episode. Crusher is
Mm-hmm.
the star of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's
know,
funny that you
Worf,
mentioned
Geordi.
Lost because one of the reasons why I wanted to start this show, TNG, was
Mm-hmm.
because Lost was ending. And I was looking
Oh
for a
yeah,
new, dense, character-driven show.
yeah. You were in a show hole.
So you just tickled my fancy for
Okay,
sure by mentioning Lost.
okay. Well, and this is regarded by many as one of the greatest shows. But again, it's 80s, so it's slow and
Yeah,
it's a
and it's
little more
probably
low tech.
cheesy looking, right? Like
There's some
the
cheese.
the look of it wasn't grabbing me.
Yep, there's some cheese factor. Now, I will
Mm-hmm.
say, as I watched a bunch of episodes in the last couple weeks, that they have up converted it. I mean,
Oh,
not only up converted, but restored
okay.
in full HD. It's still 4:3,
Okay.
but it's full HD and it looks dang good.
Okay.
Like
Um
it looks fantastic.
I was probably watching the pilot,
Yeah,
some torrented
yeah,
version of 1987 VHS or something.
right.
I mean, I know they re-released it on DVD and all that stuff. It probably was that. But I think what you're saying is that they've even restored it more since streaming. Is that right?
Oh, they've done a full restore in the last maybe 5 to 7 years because I remember it coming out in as close to 4K as possible, and I,
Okay.
I remember seeing interviews about it then.
Mm-hmm.
I remember an interview with Deanna Troy, who I don't actually know her real name.
Yeah.
um she's the counselor, and she was like, she felt like the show was starting to look really dated,
Okay.
and this restoration brought it into now,
Okay.
essentially. Like
Great.
now a kid can watch it and be like, this isn't like an old sucky looking show.
Okay. Got it. That's good news. Deanna Troy is uh, uh, Hunt for Red October.
No, that's Beverly Crusher.
Okay. These are things I'm going to need to learn.
Oh, yeah, okay, that might help. Um, if I give you just a quick rundown of the characters, okay?
Okay. This is great. Okay.
So,
This is good. I think this, even if I had a little bit of foundational knowledge about who's who before going in, that would
sure.
help me.
Okay. So,
And I'm going to be
what you'll just
Googling them so I can see them while you
yeah,
tell me
what
who
you
they are.
okay, what you'll discover on from the first episode, I still think you should start with the first episode.
Yep.
Know that it's like the first episode of Seinfeld, okay? It's
Great,
not
great.
it's
Yep. And so I give it grace because it's the first episode and they haven't truly found their footing yet.
right. Like I could actually give you a plot synopsis, but I kind of think you need to see it because it's how they all meet.
Hey man, you're the docent.
Yeah,
I follow your lead. And so I will
I
watch so is that the first essential? Is it a two-part pilot?
it's a feature length episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the pilot. I'm typing these out, but I know you're going to send it to me too.
Yep. I have it written with my Papermate medium flare pen, which has become my absolute Gomer's favorite thing.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, I still love the ones that you gave me, but these guys, the felt,
Ooh, yeah, I like a felt tip. That's
it's
pretty
kind of
good. And
become
it
my
looks so
go-to.
good, doesn't it, when you write it?
It
That's
does, and
part of
it's
it.
super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's how I take church notes now in my notebook. Um,
Can you
okay,
do me a favor when you tell me characters?
yep,
And I know this isn't going to always work, but if there's a equivalent in the Star Trek that I'm familiar with,
definitely.
okay,
Yep.
that would help me too. All right.
Okay, so from the top down, You've got Captain Jean-Luc Picard. That's Patrick Stewart.
Love.
Love. He looks so young in
Oh,
the pilot.
but is he still bald in the pilot?
Oh yeah, but
Straight
he's got like
straight away.
the he's got the side, like that guy on Star Wars with like
Uh-huh.
the side like
Oh, the
comm
side
thing
helmet. Yeah,
on
yeah.
the cloud universe.
He's got like a bit of a ring, right?
Yep,
Around the sides. Okay.
right. So he's the captain. Then first officer number 1 is Commander William T. Riker.
Right.
That's
And I
Jonathan Frakes.
right. And what I know about this fellow is that he also went on to like write and direct a lot of Star Trek, right?
Yes,
Okay.
he's probably up there with the most influential like behind the scenes Star Trek guys.
Okay.
Director, writer. He's the first officer. He's a really strong character.
Okay.
He likes the ladies. It's
Hello,
80.
hubba hubba. Wait,
Well,
so would he be the Spock equivalent?
no, there's not a first officer on the old.
Yeah,
I
they play with
guess.
first officers in the Abrams ones because there's so much like that captain died. We have to get Kirk into
Right.
the seat somehow, and so
Yep.
they do that a lot. But I actually think Spock might be the first.
No, he's the science officer.
Oh, right.
But
Yep, you're
but
right.
then he becomes the captain. So he becomes
Mm.
Captain Spock.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fair equivalent.
Okay, I need to
I
confess something also here.
yeah.
I know so little about captain, commander, first officer because I'm not a military guy.
Yeah, well, me neither.
And so sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, captain is better than commander? No, it sounds like I'm so embarrassed, dude. Most of what I know about those things are from Star Trek.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so he got demoted. Kirk gets demoted from commander back to captain in Star Trek 3.
Right.
So
Well,
I
oh
just know
shoot.
that about it.
Wait, what was he? Admiral. Okay, he
Oh,
was
that's what it is.
Admiral.
Admiral
So
Kirk.
Admiral's up here, Captain's there, then there's Commander, then there's
Okay, commander's
Lieutenant
lower.
Commander.
Mm-hmm. I just might
There's
need to,
Ensign.
yeah, I might need to Google that or chat GPT it to figure out the order of that. That might be good for my life. You know what I mean? So I'm not constantly
Sure.
confused about those things. Okay. Jonathan Frakes, I like the look of this guy. I've certainly recognized him from the movies, and I've always assumed, oh, he must be the second in charge.
Yep.
Okay.
He's he's just great. But he's fresh-faced in Encounter at Farpoint. No
Okay.
beard.
Wow. All right. I
Okay,
can't wait.
so going into Farpoint, he had a previous this is a bit of a spoiler, but you've seen it in the movies. He had a previous relationship with counselor Deanna Troy, who
Hold on. Let
is
me Google her.
you'll recognize her.
Okay. It is interesting that I'm typing in COUN, and the first thing on it is Counselor Troy that comes up.
Great.
Must
That's
be a lot of
awesome.
Googling of her. Oh, and I can tell why. Hubba hubba. All right. So counselor, I don't know what's that? What
So
position is
again,
she on?
there wasn't a counselor on the
I see.
she's like she's an empath. She's a different
All right.
species,
Half
or maybe she's
betazoid.
half
It says she is. Oh no.
Betazoid. Okay,
I
yeah, she's
just
a
got wait a minute. I just got
oh
my
no.
first embarrassed for
Oh
you goosebumps when I
no.
read that she's
Betazoid.
half human, half betazoid.
Oh shoot. Oh no. Oh gosh.
No, I
Okay, here.
embrace these. I
Push
embrace these.
through
I'm
that.
actually looking forward to it, if you can believe
Push
that.
through that because
Okay.
that doesn't really matter.
Okay. Got it.
But she is a different race or a different like I don't know species, and
Never knew
she's
that.
half human, half Betazoid, right?
And I certainly recognize her. And
So
she's got
her
something
mom,
romantic going with number one.
yeah. So there's an on again, off again about there, but when they show up, they're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, hello,
I
you
see.
again.
Okay, great. I can't wait for
So
that.
that's
Some
all. There's
sexual
always
tension right away.
a bit of sexual tension there for sure, and
Great.
they play with that in various episodes.
Okay.
She is awesome. She can she can't hear people's thoughts, but she can feel their feelings.
Oh,
So
hey there. I like that. So she's like the Spock, but an F instead of a T.
Oh, sure. Okay.
That's great.
Okay, so She Rocks, super
Okay.
interesting. Oh, also Commander Riker, he plays the trombone, which I think you'll see in an episode or two, and he's from Alaska.
Okay. I remember some sort of flute. Somebody
Oh
plays
no,
a flute, right?
we're gonna get to the flute. Okay,
Okay. This
then
trombone is news to me. All right.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay, the next kind of these guys are all kind of even, but Lieutenant Commander Geordie LaForge,
Of
he is LeVar
course.
Burton.
Dude, I totally forgot he's in this.
Yeah, he
And he's
rules.
blind,
Yep,
but sort of blind. He wears like that visor. I see it right now. Kind of like this visor that
yep,
helps him see.
yep. And he's the Scotty.
Okay. That's good
So
to know.
he's the miracle worker. He's in engineering. He's in
Mm-hmm.
charge of all things technical,
Okay.
and
Never knew that. That's great.
also he sounds and often looks like my dad. Have we ever talked about this?
No, but I love this and I see it as I'm looking
It
at his
it,
pictures.
it there was back when my dad, he's listening to this, back when my dad was doing the Madison Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps and this was out,
Yeah.
somebody made like a recording of my dad talking and they were like, this sounds exactly like LeVar Burton. The way he smiles, his
Okay.
eyes, I see my dad so much
Okay. This is going to
in
help me connect with him. I love this.
yep.
All
He
right. Great.
rules. Okay, then Commander Data. Well, I guess it
Right.
says Lieutenant Commander Data, but Brent
Who's an
Spiner.
android?
Yep, so
What do
he's
they
an
call it in
android.
Star Trek? Android or robot or
Uh,
what?
mm, uh, dude, now I feel dumb. I mean,
It says
I
android here on
okay, yeah,
Wikipedia.
I mean, he's an android. That's what he is.
Can I read to you what the description of him is?
Uh huh.
Data is a self-aware, sapient, sentient, and
Sentient.
sentient and anatomically fully functional male android. Oh no.
Yeah, so there's an episode in there that I wasn't going to recommend, but there is uh so Tasha Yar, who actually I'm not going to talk about, but she is an important character, but there's just too many to talk about in one
Okay.
10 episode.
Yeah.
She's in the earlier season. She's
Mm-hmm.
a security officer. I mean, she's a really important character. We'll
And
get
will I
there.
see her? Oh, I see her. Tasha, I
You,
recognize her. She's got
yeah,
kind of
you'll
like a short blonde haircut.
yep, you'll see her in some
Okay,
episodes.
great.
She's in the earlier ones. Lieutenant Worf ends up becoming the main security officer after she leaves the show.
Okay. And Lieutenant Worf, his thing, this guy, he's a Klingon.
He's a Klingon dude. And this we talked about would have been an absolute shock because the Klingons are the bad guys in the OG Star Trek,
They've
like in
never
the original
not been
series.
bad.
Right.
Okay.
Until this came out and it's like, what? There's one on the bridge crew.
Okay. Yep. He's on staff.
And you see his dad, no, you see his grandfather in Star Trek 6.
He's their defendant, right? He's the defense
Yep.
counsel.
Right.
But it's played by the same actor.
Yeah, Star Trek does that.
Okay.
They use the same actors to do stuff.
Okay. I knew there was something about him when I rewatched Star Trek 6 and I couldn't remember what it is, and when you just said it I was like, "Oh, of course, it's the same actor playing that guy's grandfather, Worf's
Yep.
grandfather." Okay.
Yep. Back to Data real quick. There
Mhm.
is an episode where Tasha and Data is like, "Wait, everything works. Let's try it out."
Hey man, put that ep on. I want to watch that. You know I
Anatomically
like it. Do they
correct.
kiss?
I because I was a kid, I probably skipped that episode or it was skipped for me. But and I haven't seen it since. I think they make sure everything works and they like do it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to like the kissing part, I'm sure.
Sheldon, um, from While You Were
Yeah, that
Sleeping,
is like
or
Sheldon kissing.
no, yeah, from When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I remember.
Uh, okay,
What
so you
about
got Data, you
yeah,
got Worf. Now you've got the Doctor. That's Dr. Beverly Crusher, played by Gates McFadden.
that is Hunt for Red October wife.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
who's in like 30 seconds of it. Uh,
Right. Just the opening.
she's the doctor.
Yep.
Okay, so she's the equivalent of Bones then.
Yes.
Okay, great. That
She's
helps. I didn't know that.
awesome. She totally rocks.
Okay.
Uh, and I have to say, now watching it in my 40s, I did not think this as a kid. She is so stinking beautiful, as is. Like, I did not know this stuff as a kid, dude.
It never even crosses your mind,
Right.
right? There's a certain age where it starts crossing your mind, but it probably wasn't when you were watching this.
Right. But now that we're probably older than she was in that show, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the main bridge crew. Okay, so she has a son who's basically Doogie Howser.
That's
That's
Wesley.
Wesley Crusher. Yep.
Yep. And the thing I
And
know most about him is when John Luke goes, "Shut up, Wesley!"
exactly.
in that one viral video that was also had John Luke playing that flute.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful. And it was a lot
Yep.
about Wesley hate in that clip, which was super fun. But I didn't quite get it, but I liked it.
Right. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in there like where I just saw this picture of Tasha Yar, Denise Crosby. She actually looks very much like Taya Leone.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I could
definitely. I'm looking at her right now.
Yep.
Yes, she's got that vibe.
Yep. Okay, then some extra characters that are in regularly.
Uh-huh.
Whoopi Goldberg as Guinan
I remember her from
is
Generations, I think.
yes.
Okay.
She she is kind of like an additional counselor. She runs 10 Forward, which is like their gathering space. This is where you go for drinks.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh,
like
she's like the bartender there. Is that right?
yes. Yep.
Okay. I don't know why I know that, but I remember seeing it at some point. Okay.
And she's the one that tells you tell your secrets to, and
Ah,
she is like the sage. She just has this wisdom,
okay.
and she can in a few words like tell you what to do or
Mm-hmm.
a way that you haven't seen things before.
All right. I can't
And
wait.
she rules. And then there's Cole Meany who plays Chief Miles O'Brien. I don't know that he's going to come into this, but he was a pilot in Die Hard 2.
Uh-huh. I'm looking at him right now. I recognize him probably from a lot of different things.
Tons of stuff.
Right?
Yeah,
He's
he
just
was
that
in I
guy.
think he was in The Rock.
Yep. I think you're right.
Yeah, he's like a what they would call in the rewatchables of that guy.
Yeah. And I like this guy.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
So
sweet.
that's the main crew. I think I got through everybody. There's one there's two like major adversaries, the
Oh,
Borg
okay. Yep.
and there's one other main character which you meet in Encounter at Farpoint, which is his name is Q.
So I know about Q a little bit. Well, you know what? I think we mentioned this in Wrathcon. I know my mom likes Q. And I know
Okay.
he's kind of like a Loki. Isn't he like a Loki type?
He is. He is. So
Okay.
he's like
He's
a
mischievous.
yes, but you don't actually know if he's good or bad.
Okay, I like
So
that.
kind of like Loki, because Loki can
Mm-hmm.
be good and bad, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yes,
And
definitely.
he's quote unquote like a small g god, kind of like
Hey, I love it.
he's okay. That didn't give you goosebumps, bad ones.
Listen, dude.
Okay.
If I like Thor
Yeah. Okay. Good.
and I liked him immediately, and I just
Yep.
told you is he a Loki who I adore, Q
Yep.
is not gonna give me goosebumps.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay. So that was pretty much a rundown of the crew.
Okay,
In
great.
Encounter at Farpoint, you're gonna figure out the fact that Data is an android. He's
Mm-hmm.
trying to whistle. He's trying to learn humor.
So that's
You
not
see,
something that they keep for a long time as a surprise. You know this, you know who's who right away.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not Alien,
Oh my gosh. Remember when you realized that Ash is an android and alien?
dude. Totally
A
incredible.
perfect moment he starts bleeding that milk and those
Uh-huh.
balls.
Oh, but then you go back and you see that he never ate with them, right? He doesn't
I gotta
smoke.
watch Alien. Can we pause this for 2 hours so I
Yeah,
can watch Alien right now? I just
Steven
got
needs to
like
escape the podcast.
I need to schedule that in. My next viewing of Alien. When do I have time? All right, pencil that in. Okay. Actually, dude, this was really helpful
Okay.
because I recognize all these faces. I had no idea that like Beverly Crusher was the doctor, for instance. That helps
Yep.
me a ton.
Yep.
Um, it can you tell me what the episodes are in the next 10 minutes? I think we have 10, 15
Yes.
minutes left. Are we going to be
Yep.
able to do that? I
Oh
felt
yeah.
like this was huge for context for me. Can you just quickly remind me how much later this is than the Star Treks?
It's like 70 years. I want to say 70. Can you look that up real quick?
Yep.
How much time between the original series and the next generation? Oh, set almost 100 years. That's what IMDb says.
Okay. Great. That's good to know. And we talked before that it is 1, 2, 3, 4 models of the Enterprise later.
Yes. So that's also important because we talked about how Enterprise A 1701A was introduced at the end
Yep.
of Star Trek 4.
Right.
So that would have been really important to see that this is the Enterprise D. So that means it's way in the future,
Yep.
right? You're and so like that's kind of like a behind the scenes thing is like what was Enterprise B and C? And so like that would be something that would be
Has that ever been
dropped.
revealed?
Yeah, yeah. So like those are like
Oh,
huge important episodes. Like the
okay.
top of the show you discovered that Enterprise C exists. Like that's something that blew me and Stephen Nichols like little sixth grade brains out of our heads.
And it is
Is
something I'm not a Stephen Nichols and I'm not an Anthony Georgeson, right? But I
Yep.
did just get good goosebumps
Huh?
because this is the kind of thing that I love. Big universes
Yep.
with set rules that you can play around in and
Yep.
mysteries that exist.
Yeah.
What happened to BNC?
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out.
And you don't find out for like 5 years.
Great.
You know what I mean?
I love it. String it on. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
titillate.
Titillate, manipulate. Okay, so you've got the pilot. If you can make it through that, it's pretty boring, but it's important.
Okay.
Then I have a couple shows, and I have these written down, but again, look at
Yeah.
you can't. It's
I can
actually
see it now.
pretty readable, but
Okay.
I want it to look as nice as yours.
Sure.
Um, after the pilot, I think you should go to this episode called "Measure of a Man."
Okay.
And now, dude, these are like this isn't a lot of action this show.
You've told me that several times. Are you nervous that
I'm a
I
little nervous that you're going to be kind of bored sometimes. It's more like it's like a book you're reading that's interesting, but it's kind of a little bit slower moving than you know what I mean?
and are you saying that because I'm used to a Star Trek that is self-contained movie, pretty high action.
Right.
So I think I will be able to. This is just a guess. I might be bored, just so you know.
That's
But
fine.
I don't think that will keep me from going on, especially because I've committed to this. There's a deadline. Also because I do watch TV differently than I watch movies.
Okay.
And I appreciate to a certain extent that there's more room to breathe. There have been TV shows. I think Mandalorian 3 has lost its way a little bit. There's just a lot of like, okay, why don't you just make a movie to end this because that would be cool. But
Got it.
I do think that going into the show, I will have a lot of grace for it moving slow.
Okay.
That's a guess. It, I might be really bored and say,
No,
okay,
dude. Aaron and I have been like Aaron's been sitting with me watching these and we're
okay,
like this is good.
okay.
This is it, dude. I have cried a bunch of times. This show is so good.
Are you now currently watching it
Yeah,
again?
totally.
Straight through?
Well, I've been making this list, and so I've been
Yeah.
watching all of them,
Okay.
and I like, it's really good.
Okay.
It's solidly good. I mean, the blocks are sometimes the production looks super dumb, and sometimes it's cheesy.
Well, remembering that
That's
it's 87 helps.
That's what I mean. And they have to do this like in a week. They have to build all the sets. They have to build
Yeah.
all the props. They have to
That's
write all the
crazy.
stuff. So you know what I mean. So it's
Yep.
not like they didn't have a big budget.
And are we talking like 22 episode seasons?
Yeah,
That's a lot of TV.
totally.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so you got the pilot. Then the second one I think that would be great to watch would be Measure of a Man.
Uh-huh.
This is Data a person or property?
I just got good goosebumps again.
So it's like he's an android, but what are his rights?
Okay.
So right there kind of explains what Star Trek is like much different than Star Wars. Like, because like that they go to court about it.
Um, just so you know, you're doing a great job so far because that's right up my alley. If you're thinking
Okay.
about what I would like,
That's what I was trying to think of.
okay, then so far one for like oh, you knocked that one out of the park.
Okay, good.
I
So that was
like
sweet.
thinking deeply about stuff, and I do know that Star Trek does that from the movies even.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It's usually more high concept
Okay,
stuff like that. Okay, the
definitely.
third episode that I think you should watch. Now we're gonna get a little action.
Great.
It's just an episode called Cause and Effect,
Okay.
and this is about kind of like a time loop. And this is more action,
Uh-huh.
so I thought it would draw you in that. And it's, um, I don't want to give any of it away, but you said you saw a time loop episode. You may have seen this one then.
Does it have either, I can't remember which lady it is, but one of the ladies is caught in it. It's Crusher or Troy.
Oh nope, I
Okay.
have that
All
one
right.
down for
I'm
another
thinking of
one.
a different one.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
so Cause and Effect is really exciting and fun, and the cold open rules.
Okay.
Okay, then we're gonna go to uh, an episode all about two cultures meeting that don't understand each other, and one culture only speaks in metaphor and analogy, and they're like, "What the heck?" So it's kind of like a rival a little bit.
I, I feel dizzy. Just tell me the name of this episode. I'm
It's
typing it
okay.
down. I'm gonna want to watch this one like now.
Yeah, I see. I kind of maybe you should skip the pilot and go back.
No, I think you're right that I need to start with the pilot.
It shows how they all meet. It shows
I gotta do it.
Wesley on the
Yep.
bridge, and Picard is annoyed with Wesley, and like,
Okay.
and
Well,
then
well then I have to watch it because I do
you
like that kind of thing.
okay, you meet Q, you
Okay.
discuss like, and then they send them out on their journey. So yeah,
Okay. What's
this
the name of
episode's
this
called
fourth one?
Darmok. Little
What?
goosebumps there, but Darmok, Darmok,
Okay.
and it's one of the most important Star Trek quotes of all time, which is Darmok and Jalad et Tanagra. You'll get it after you watch it.
Okay. All of a sudden, my demeanor has dropped a little bit from
No, but
whatever the heck it
dude,
was that you just said. So that episode is called Darmok.
Darmok. So you
Okay.
got pilot, measure of a man, cause and effect, Darmok.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one other great standalone episode. This is a bonus. This is not in the four. Okay,
Okay. I'm parenthesizing it.
it's called Ship in a Bottle.
Okay.
And one of the things they do on this show is sometimes they go on the holodeck. Holodeck is a
I
huge.
I I know what you're talking about. I know they're all dressed up as pirates or something.
No, it's actually not that. Nope,
Okay. But that
not a
happens,
pirate.
right? I think actually that
Oh
happens in
yeah,
a movie.
yeah.
In
That
one of the
happens in a
movies.
movie.
Okay.
Another thing they do is they play like Picard. There are many episodes where he plays kind of like a Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
No, no,
yeah.
he plays Dixon Hill. That's what it is. He's kind of like a mobster kind of guy working out mysteries. Data plays Sherlock Holmes
Okay.
in a bunch of episodes. This is a Sherlock Holmes episode, and it
Okay.
deal. Okay, you're I'm losing you here.
A little bit, but
Oh shoot.
no, no. Actually, what happened, if you remember in the Marvel Universe tour, I gave you several that you could watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't need it. And this one's pretty dumb, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. And you ended up liking some things. And so you watched them anyway. I like this. Ship in a
Okay, so
bottle.
Ship in a Bottle is a bonus. It has a
Okay.
top prop that I wish I could have,
Okay. Great.
and
Don't tell me what
it
it
is
is. I want to guess what it is. I'm
it's high
writing top
concept, but
prop
basically
here.
the idea is, what if holodeck characters actually could become real?
Okay. Great. I
It's
like
actually
that.
it's very cool.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, getting into a little bit of the. So now we're going to go into the characters.
Okay.
So Picard,
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple that rule.
Okay.
But one, so this way you can get a little bit of Q and a little Picard.
Great.
It's called Tapestry,
Okay.
and this is, kind of like a This Is Your Life,
Okay.
or This Is a Wonderful Life, sort of.
Okay, great.
Like, go back and what if you had chosen differently, and then what the future would look like.
Okay. Great.
It's great.
Love it.
Then we need to do a Data episode
Please.
to get to know Data.
Okay, is this the one where he has sex?
Nope. You can go ahead and watch that one. I'm just not going to recommend it.
Okay. Bonus sex Data episode.
Data sex robot.
Okay. All right. Data episode. Which one did you choose?
Okay, so Data has a daughter. Like he want. Okay, Data is a lot like Spock actually, in
Okay.
that no, that's not true. Spock doesn't want to be human. That's not true. Data wants to become human.
Okay.
He wants to discover everything about humanity, but he doesn't have any emotions, right? That's what the emotions ship is like in Generations.
I remember. Yeah.
So, man, dude, when he laughs, it's friggin' one of the funniest crap ever. I love it.
I do remember that.
So anyway,
scene.
this is just a beautiful episode called Offspring, and he wants to become a dad. This is deep in in like season 5 or 6 or something.
Okay, great. Oh, by the way, are these in chronological order?
These are not, but they're fine.
Okay, it's okay that they're not. Okay,
totally. They're
great.
A lot of this stuff stands alone. The canon ones are different.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
these are standalone episodes. They're not sequential for the most part.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And that's kind of how. Is that kind of how? I never thought about this. Is it like Lost, where if you miss a week, you're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Okay, it's
opposite
more
of that.
like Seinfeld then.
Exactly.
Or The Simpsons, where it just resets. But there are arcs, aren't there, or no?
No, there are big arcs, and so there are.
Will
big
we get
arcs.
to that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I just think you should watch a Data episode.
Okay.
Offspring. If you like that, I have 2 more. Okay.
Okay. Actually, tell them to me right now, and I'll put them as bonus.
Bonus Data episodes: Brothers.
And
that's where you meet his brother.
Okay.
And then super bonus, one of my favorite episodes, Data's Day. It's just a day in the life of Data. But
okay, I love it.
I just love it.
At the end, he has sex. Okay. Next.
Okay, now we're gonna dive. Oh no. Before that, one more great episode, a Beverly Crusher. Excuse me, a Wesley Crusher episode called The Game.
Okay.
And this is an incredible standalone episode. One of the most famous episodes.
Okay.
I think talks very much about like social media now.
Oh, cool. Great.
So I love
the dangers of technology kind of episode.
Yeah. Addictions of it.
Oh, great. Okay. Sounds
totally.
Awesome.
It's really good. Okay, then we're going to dive into a Borg miniseries.
I can't wait.
I'm skipping some of the characters. I have like 4 characters with an episode and a bonus, but I'm going to skip that.
Okay. Borg miniseries.
So I'm really sorry, Troy. There's an episode called The Lost where she loses her empathic abilities. It's tragic. There's tons of episodes with Worf all about his Klingon heritage. The Rule. There's Geordi episodes that rule. Oh, this is so hard.
But isn't part of this that I'll get a taste of it?
Yeah.
And I will have to schedule in for my next year watching the entire series.
Yeah.
That's another thing I think that I have in the back of my mind. If I really enjoy this, it's a whole new show.
There's 7 seasons times 22 episodes.
I love it. You know I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
You are getting the just berries though, like the oops all berries. This is like the oops all berries.
Exactly. That's what I want.
Because there are some that are like meh.
Mm-hmm. Sure, of
Actually, there
course,
aren't
in
that
any
many that
show.
are just meh, except for the first 2 seasons.
Okay,
But you still have to see Measure of a Man. That's on the top because you learn high concept about data.
great.
Okay, so Borg miniseries where we meet the Borg.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Q Who.
Okay.
Q, comma, who. So Q.
Yep. Q's in there too. Okay, great. Then
Then we're going to go into the 2 most important episodes of the entire series.
right, and I'm trying to remember what they're called,
Best of
but I'm
Both
not gonna.
Worlds, parts
Best of
1 and
both.
2.
Right. The best of both worlds. That's a Miley Cyrus song. Best of
Oh,
both worlds. Okay. Parts 1 and 2. And those parts were over the summer, right? And part 1 was a finale and part 2 was a who
yes.
shot Mr. Burns situation.
Yes, it's the longest summer of my life.
Okay, great.
We watched that episode all summer, me and Steve Nichols,
Uh-huh.
and then we had a double sleepover for the night before where it played last year's, and then
Wow.
the night it came out.
Special.
You should, yep.
Yeah.
And then if you want one more before the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
bonus is more Borg episodes, including Data's brother, called Docent 1 and 2.
Okay. Okay, great. I probably will watch those.
Okay. And then, oh, by the way, Best of Both Worlds was ranked by TV Guide as top 100 television shows ever.
Okay. Sweet.
So they actually made like real lists.
Listen, believe me, Stephen, it's good.
It's good, I promise. And then the last episode for me, which is my favorite episode,
Okay, I need that.
and this is a Picard episode. Most of my favorite episodes are Picard
Yeah.
centric.
Yep.
Is Inner Light.
And is that the one with the flute?
That's the one with the flute.
Okay. I only know that because I think you've mentioned it several times.
Okay, and
Just
you've
like I
never
know
seen
the
it,
title of Best of Both Worlds is because you have mentioned them so many times.
right? And you've never
Okay.
seen Inner Light, right?
No.
Inner dude, like Inner
He's
Light.
choking up, folks. He's choking up.
It's gonna make me
You
choke
can't
up,
hide it
but
from me.
bro, Inner Light is it's I don't want to talk it up too much because maybe it'll seem cheesy. And there's aging makeup, like
It's okay.
you know what I mean? Like aging makeup
Yeah.
doesn't age well,
Yeah.
but it is a stand. It's Patrick Stewart. I guess it's his favorite episode that he ever did.
Okay.
Also, and I
Great.
learned about that way after deciding it was mine. But it's
Mm-hmm.
a standalone. There's no tech, barely at
Mm.
all.
Mm.
It's like just a play, and
Okay. I'm gonna love it.
yeah,
Don't worry about talking it up too much. If it probably I'll love it because I know it's special to you, and it will be interesting for me to watch why.
the music is so good.
Okay.
He learns how to play the flute. I can't wait to talk to you about it. I don't want to spoil it.
All right.
And maybe you'll be like, that was cool. But I adore that episode.
Well, I mean, this might be a good way to end this episode. Main reasons for me wanting to do this. Number 1 and number 2 are actually probably they're both the top 2 reasons. I don't know if I can rank them. Are I've always wanted to understand this show more because I know it's good.
Yep.
And I love TV. That's number 1.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
I really love good TV.
Yep.
And I do think that Star Trek The Next Generation probably premiered at a time when TV was so lesser than. Do you know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. This would have been like, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
And so it sounds like an equivalent to prestige TV or whatever in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is very curious to me. And also, this is still a number 1, even though I don't know Jean-Luc Picard's character Picard very well. Jean-Luc Picard is like tops for me. I love him in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Everything he does, I love it. He seems like a cool dude. And so that's number 1. Number 2 is I want another connection point with you.
Nice. That's
right?
super
Is that
charming, dude. That's cool.
like thinking about watching Picard together, an
Oh
ep a week or
man.
something?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I not only love TV, I love people in my life, and when those two things connect, whoo,
Event.
cloud nine.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay.
Dude, I'm honored by that. I feel seen. And
Good.
you're already a better student than I was at the beginning of Marvel, and I'm sorry about that. And I do love
Don't
Marvel
worry.
now,
I
and
know.
I can't. We're gonna go to Guardians of the Galaxy probably tomorrow.
Amazing. See, it worked. That worked. Then the docent thing. Can I just play a clip for you
Yeah,
from the
sure.
Marvel episode? I think you're gonna think it's funny. Okay, here we go.
Sweet.
Old school, playing it from my phone. Hold on, wait. The context here is that you were telling me in the first episode 5 reasons why you didn't think this was gonna work.
Okay.
Okay, wait. So this is number 4. Okay, wait. I'll get back to it. All right, here we go.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it? Shoot.
Why can I not hear it?
That's so weird. I think Zoom is like this sometimes, bro. It's just like you can't listen to that.
I can't. I can't hear it. Oh no,
Uh-oh.
dude! My thing stopped recording.
When?
Wait. You're recording still, right?
Yep. When did yours stop?
On thing.
Yeah?
Dude, mine stopped at like 40.
Okay. Well, I've got your thing here. Phew, what a relief.
Oh my gosh.
And you're recording into your nice mic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to make sure I save this.
Shoot.
All right, we're good. And I'll cut that right there. It's just when you
Okay.
say number 4. Okay, my number 4 reason is stupid.
Oh,
And there's a long
man.
pause where I don't know what to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm like,
dude.
okay, I don't know if we can do this.
Oh,
I'm gonna
sorry,
cut all. I'm
dude.
gonna cut all this.
Oh, you can keep this. It's fine. I don't care.
All right, let's wrap it up. No, I'm gonna cut
Okay.
it. I don't want to make you feel bad. It was just I
Okay.
was laughing so hard when I was
Okay.
re-listening to it.
That's
Like
hilarious.
you had all these. It was actually a lot of really well thought out reasons why it was gonna be hard for you. And then number 4 was stupid.
Stupid. Wasn't one of them like there's always a new bad guy?
There's always a new bad guy was one.
And I'm like, where was he in the last one? Like, this
The
is
the
dumb.
question of where people were all the time was another one. The biggest one was no stakes.
That was still, I get it. I
Yeah.
get why I said that.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I'm like,
All of them are valid.
Nothing bad can happen. So why are we watching this?
Right. All of them are valid. Even Stupid is valid because at some point on the thing, I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. All of this is so dumb.
Well, I mean, like a lot of this, what I just shared is too. Like, I
That's
mean,
true.
Darmok and Jalad Tanagra. But when
I'm
you
just
watch
so
it,
used to dumb stuff that maybe I'm just like, yeah, I can get over Darmok.
yeah. Well, yeah, I was listening to like a legit movie podcast talking about Mario Brothers, and they were like, "We are midlife people talking about this,
Yep.
like it's a real thing." And it was actually pretty good, but like still stupid sort of.
Still, you back up one step and you're like, what?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I am so excited about this, bro.
Dude, me too. This has been so fun, and I can't wait to watch it with you. And like we said at the very top, sharing a story together
Yep.
completes the enjoyment of it.
This absolutely would not work. And I know it wouldn't work because I tried it before if I was trying to do it by myself.
Yeah. Yep.
Lifetime goal, figure out why TNG is good. I'm going to accomplish that this summer.
Okay. I think if you watch these 10 or 12 that I recommended, you'll really like it.
And you know me, dude. If I get a list, if I get a schedule,
yeah.
Oh boy, I'm in.
I worked hard at that. And I didn't
you.
even cheat by like, AI or like looking up lists. I did watch a few videos and lists afterwards, and I was like, most of mine were on there.
Great.
But I was like,
But this is purely Docent Tony G's creation.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
here it is.
So can I also say I feel heard and seen as well?
Sweet. Even
I
if I had
see
to take
you
10 minutes of your time to do it. I
even
mean,
then.
if I mean, like the back of these pages are like all this. This is all it, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna write it in my this guy, and then I was like, wait, I didn't do it right, so then I gotta write it on this guy.
Listener, he is holding up reams of paper right now.
I still stand by this one. I'm gonna rewrite this one.
But can you take a picture of it me? Can you take a picture of it
Sure.
for me and send it to me
Bef-
before you rewrite?
before I
Because
rewrite it, sure.
I kind of
Yeah.
like the process.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Sure.
right.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, everybody. This goes without saying. Anybody listening right now is welcome to join us. In fact, once you
Yeah.
retype that or rewrite that and send it to me, I will post it on the Patreon for people to join us.
Perfect. That sounds awesome, dude.
Sweet. All right, dude. Thank you for doing the hard work. I cannot wait for this summer. Not only those 10 movies I listed at the
Yep.
beginning, but to know that this is kind of a new summer of TV really, really helps my 7, especially after a hard year. So
I love it.
I'm so excited.
I love it, dude. And everybody, this is on Paramount Plus
Paramount
to
Plus.
watch.
Yep.
So
All right, dude. Great app.
super fun, man.
Bye, everybody. Happy watching Star Trek: The
Bye.
Next Generation. Bye. E.
Ugh. All
All
right,
right.
stop that and hope that it saves, dude. Please.
Yep.
Please.
All right. I'm not gonna know until I close it down and it starts
Okay.
saving. So, all right, dude. Just, well, actually, I'm gonna pray. Jesus, we put a lot of time into this. I pray that it would work. Amen.
Yes.
All right.
Amen.
It never hasn't, so I'm sure it will work.
Oh, please. Okay.
All right, dude. I gotta run.
Okay. Thanks, man. Super fun.
Super fun. Thanks for putting the work in. I
Totally.
am honestly even off. I'm really excited about this.
Okay.
All right, dude.
Me too.
All right. Have a great Sabbath.
Wait, do you want to stop
Sabbath
recording?
tonight?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I'll stop recording this. Bye,
Cinco de
everybody.
Mayo Sabbath.